What's up? Hey, you were saying in Berlin that you were looking forward to the bye week. Did you did you kind of get settled a little bit, or
Uh,
it's
I
probably
did
busy
get,
for you, right?
yeah, I did get settled a little bit. I'm supposed to move into my house next week, so
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. It's a blessing to be able to have two bye weeks in the season. So this one was more like chill and relaxed than my first one. I ended up going like out the country, so
Right.
um, yeah,
All right. Cool. Thank you.
James.
Yeah, hopefully you got a chance to grab some more clothes. And,
yeah.
on a more serious note, this week, Javarius Ward, it's a possibility he could be elevated from IR and return. What do you think about the possibility of being paired with a guy like that? And have you had someone in your career early on that you can compare to that level, opposite of you on the field?
I feel like everybody that's opposite of me, I feel like in the past we've meshed very well, like DJ Reed, Brandon Stevens, and stuff like that. You know, uh, Travarius, he been a dog, since he was in San Fran, since he was in Kansas City. So, I'm looking forward to us just going out there together and, putting on a clinic. But, you know, um, from afar watching him, he's always been like that guy. So, we've been chopping it up a lot, talking ball, talking life in general. He's a great dude for sure. Great person to be around. His work ethic and, film study routine, everything that he do, is pretty good. So, I'm looking forward to him getting back out there for sure.
Nathan.
Hey, Sauce. Guys have a big matchup this week facing Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense. I know as a team, record-wise, they're maybe not firing quite on all cylinders, but I imagine big task to go up against Mahomes and Andy Reid anytime you would play them. I think you played them once in your career, maybe a couple seasons ago. What did you take away from that matchup, that experience, and kind of what's your mindset or your target coming into this game on Sunday?
I mean, you can tell like they've been together for a while, So I mean, they got high caliber players, all around on a O line, quarterback, tight end, receiver, running back, like high caliber players, especially Andy Reid. He do his thing, but I'm just looking forward to going out there and just flying around, communicating, having fun out there. I was just talking to Coach Lou, and he just told me like, you had a great game. We just need you to, be you. Like, given everything that happened, we don't need you to like feel like all the pressure is on you. Because as long as you at your best, and you being there for your teammates, that's all that matters. So yeah, that's mainly it. Just being the best teammate I could be, being the best player I could be. So yeah.
Lou is someone in particular, a defensive coordinator in his time on the Bengals, that has had a lot of luck against this Chiefs offense. I don't know how deep you guys have gotten into game prep for this week, and I know you maybe don't want to give away specifics, but
Yeah.
from your opportunity getting to know Lou a little bit in the short time you've been with the Colts, what do you feel like maybe makes him particularly special or good at attacking just the way that this Chiefs offense likes to play?
I mean, I'm not gonna go too much into the Chiefs, but like one thing I can say about him, he's extremely confident when it comes to his play calling, when it comes to his film study and the opponent that we play. So it's more so like he know his personnel, he know the players that he got, and he know our strengths. So it's like, okay, like I'm gonna make sure I put these guys in position to be at their best and make plays. So it's more like this is the play that I'm calling. This is what we're running. And it's like it's never going to be a question of why he's calling these plays because he already know that there are strengths and we know what our strengths are as a collective group. So it's like, okay, like it's great to have a defensive coordinator that is very in tune with his defense. So yeah, I feel like that's why he's been able to have a lot of success in the league for sure.
JJ.
So, as you said, you spent the bye week going out of the country a little bit. I'm just curious, like when your mind maybe sort of drifted or you cleared your mind, like what hit you about the opportunity that's ahead for you with this Colts team going forward?
All right, so one, I went out of the country the first bye week.
First bye week, okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought about it. I'm like, maybe I said that wrong. The first bye week I went out of the country. This one I just had went to Miami a little bit. But can you re-ask the question you said about
Yeah,
like my
well, like
future?
when you just maybe had some, quiet time or downtime, like when you started thinking about this opportunity ahead of you, what sort of hit you about it?
It's crazy. Like it's really crazy how God worked because like I can be an overthinker at times. A lot of times it's like in a great way. But I was just like, man, like what more do I need to do? Like just chasing certain things, like feeling like all the pressure is on me. Like I don't really feel pressure like that, but feeling like I need to just do X, Y, and Z, and so many of these things. And it's crazy. Like when I walked in today, I had talked to a little part of the meeting, So that's what I was thinking about a little bit. But just my future, like I've been told y'all, like it just worked out exactly how I wanted it to. Everything is great here. Everything like staff, my teammates, the coaches, everybody is just great. And this is where I want to be. Like I
How
feel
much
like I bring a lot to the table. I feel like this organization brings a lot to the table for me. So it's just great.
how much then, Sauce, did that kind of comment from Lou mean to you? Just kind of in, talking about what you kind of thought about during the bye week.
Man, it meant a lot. It was kind of like it was kind of shocking. It was kind of shocking because I was like, was you reading my mind over the bye week or something? Because he texted me over the bye. So we was like chopping it up, but we didn't have no like in-depth conversation. So it was kind of crazy like that's what he said, So it meant a lot. It meant a lot for real. Like, man, it's crazy. It's crazy more and more that I think about it. But yeah, it definitely meant a lot and changed my perspective when it comes to things because when I was out there, like I was just doing my job. Like I was doing my job, like and the other 10 guys was doing their job. So it was like easy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doing their 111th. And I feel like that's how football should be played. That's how defense should be played. But, you know, I can't make it more than that.
We just have a couple more here. We'll go to Joel.
Hey, I know you kind of had to do it on the fly to get ready for the game against Atlanta, but having the bye week, how do you feel about just being in the defense and knowing all the calls and everything now?
Man, it feels great. It's crazy. Like, given all of the plays that we had called to really not mess up for real. Like my main mess up of the game was when what's his name, Darnell Mooney, when he caught that out route. I should have still been pressed. Like I should have still been pressed, but I ended up backing off. That was like my main like mess up. And it's like I feel like I'm a perfectionist. I try to be. So that's kind of what I feel is expected out of me. But I feel like a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that type of do what I did. But it's just great to be able to have this week to just relax in a good way, like, process everything. It's Monday, play on a Sunday, so I got more than enough time to just be even more comfortable with everything that we're doing.
And then last question, we'll bounce back to James.
Yeah, one more on Mooney, Sauce. Most of the time when you're in a cornerback room, especially early in your career, you're the most accomplished guy. When you look at Mooney and he has something that you don't in a Super Bowl championship and he has the All-Pro, he got paid and things like that, it's on par with you. How motivating is that in a sense of like, oh man, like he been where I want to go, and now we have a chance to hopefully, now I can't see the future and all that, one game at a time, but do
Yeah.
something special together.
I mean, it's great, because like we elevate the whole room, everybody like, everybody elevating each other, everybody bouncing off of each other's energy and, accomplishments and like everything like that. So it's great. But, like I said, I already knew like what he do, what he brings to the table. Like he a dog. So, it's always good being a corner, knowing you don't really got to worry about the person on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we play a game that's not really perfect. We're not perfect, so sometimes people gonna catch the ball, stuff like that. But like, knowing you got another shutdown guy on the other side, it's great for the defense. It's great for the whole defense because it's certain things like the backers, the linebackers can know like, okay, we got those guys on the outside, and even up front, they feeling the same way. But even Makai, like Makai he was strapping when we was in Berlin. So it's like the depth that we have, it is great. We got a lot of dogs in that room, and that goes from outside corners to the nickels to the safeties. It's a lot of great top tier players in there.
Yeah, I'll start off a couple injury things. Do you have any other updates on DeForest Buckner? I know he shared via his Instagram over the weekend that he had gone to Panama to get some things done for his neck.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add on that. I know he got that done, and then we'll see how he progresses here in the next few weeks.
And do you expect him to play again this year?
That's the hope. Yeah, absolutely.
And then a follow up to some IR stuff. Anthony Richardson, Javarius Ward, both eligible to come off IR this week. Do you have any updates there for those two?
I don't. I'll probably have an update for you guys on Wednesday. AR is still, rehabbing, getting better there, and then I should have some more information for you guys on Wednesday on Mooney.
Chap?
Yeah, Coach, I'm just curious. I mean, the bye came when the bye came. It gives guys a chance this late in the season to sort of, recoup, I guess. Do you balance that with losing momentum? Is momentum a thing in the NFL to where you
Yeah.
how the offense is going and now maybe you got to restart or not?
Yeah, yes and no. I think obviously momentum's real in the league, but I also think it gives the players some time to recover and the nicks and bruises that these guys have to take care of those things, to have that bye and get their bodies right, and then get locked in this week and be ready to go.
One of the quickie follow up. I don't know what your message is as a team, but you guys at 8-2 are in position to do something. Do you have to tell the players that as much as they've done, they really have got so much more to do? That's a crazy
No, that's
idea?
fair. That's a fair statement. Obviously, we got a lot ahead of us. And like I said, my message all year hasn't changed and it's not going to change. It's one day at a time and getting better, and focus on the next opponent and then control what we can control.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Joel?
Shane, I was watching the long run by JT from Berlin and noticed, AP Alec is lined up on the right side and he ends up leading him down the left side. I know you guys teach receivers to block all the way through a play, but like how rare is it for a guy to be that involved in a play like that when it took
It's
that
huge.
long for JT to bust out?
Yeah, it's huge. I think I mentioned that last week. I think I was asked that the effort there, like that's one of our standards. And to go down there and get that block on the safety coming across field, that's huge. Obviously, the guys up front and then JT making the run was huge. But the effort at the end of the play by Alec and Tyler going down there and hustling to get that third level block, waiting, whatever it was, 60 yards down the field, makes all the difference in the world. So it was just a huge play by, everybody, especially Alec running down there and getting that block.
Is that kind of one of Alec's hallmarks? Because I know he also runs a ton of routes that are sort of clearing out, a little bit, and you got to run those hard too.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always gives 100% effort on everything. Obviously running down the field, the intermediate routes, and then blocking on the perimeter is a big part of that. I know the offensive line's doing a hell of a job for JT, springing them free on those runs, but also the perimeter guys, Alec and Pitt and Downs and Doolin, getting those blocks on the perimeter. That's what makes it all go.
Kevin?
Shane, how much is self-scouting in the bye week just like shrinking tendencies, like not trying to like I don't know, overkill is the word popping in my head. It's probably not a great word, but not trying to make the tendencies as drastic as maybe they are.
Yeah, you're on it. That's a good evaluation. I think obviously that's a big part of the bye week is the self scout and going through your tendencies and what you can do better and things you need to switch up, is a big part of our process last week. So obviously we looked at some things and get some things cleaned up, moving in to the second half of the season.
And then whenever Anthony is done rehabbing and good to go, he will be your backup for the rest of the year.
Yeah, if he gets cleared by the doctors.
Nathan?
Hey Shane, I know Lou got quite the reputation a couple years ago in the way in which he was consistently able to, I don't know if shut down is maybe the word you would use for this chief offense, but put the Bengals in position where they could win a handful of really important games, both in the regular season and the postseason. What what maybe at the time did you make of the way he was able to have some success against what then and still now is a really successful offense? And do the way in which his defenses were able to attack them because it's a couple years down the road and teams have had chances to adjust, can you guys still use some of those same principles coming into this week, or do you have to do a little bit of a rethink because teams, adjust and then offenses can counter adjust and things like that?
Yeah, I think every year's a new year, and I think you go into each and every week. Obviously he's won against the Chiefs and Mahomes with his scheme, and obviously you got to mix it up every time you play him. He's a very smart player. They're a good football team. And so, yeah, he's going to have a plan just like they'll have a plan for us. And that's how we go about it without getting too specific there, Nate, for you.
Sure. And then one more for me. I know you guys are 8-2. Chiefs are 5-5, make what have you of records. I imagine this Chiefs team, there's some folks that probably think that this Chiefs team is better than their record shows. I know there's maybe a national sentiment that you guys, despite the 8-2 record, are underdogs coming into this game. This locker room that you have, and you've talked before about guys being able to stay focused and insular and not make a whole lot of that outside noise. Do you feel like this group maybe in some way might be able to embrace that underdog mentality and as you guys go into this game here on Sunday?
Yeah, I think in this league, I think you can throw records out the window each and every week because I think everyone in this league is very good and very talented, and you got to be on your A game no matter what the records are, no matter who you're playing. We know that Kansas City is a hell of a football team. They went to 3 straight Super Bowls. They got one of the best players in the world playing quarterback for them, and they're very talented. So we got to be on all the details and the specifics, going into this game, especially in a hostile environment this week.
Cool. Thanks.
James.
Shane, when you look at your team and the way they've operated offensively, obviously very good this year, #1 in scoring, but looking back at the last 2 games, now that you have time to kind of break it down, why do you think pressure had been up a little bit and the turnovers with Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I think I mentioned that last week. I think when I look back at everything, I always look at myself and certain situations. I could have put those guys in better situations with play calls, with some of the stuff that we were doing. So I got to be better for those guys moving forward so those things don't happen.
I guess what are the keys to, I don't want to nitpick too much, but what are the keys to getting to the level you were at or trying to correct some of those things going forward, despite having all the success you've already had?
Yeah, I think obviously, there's another team trying to stop us over there, and we got to do a good job of taking care of the football, and that's all part of it. And we got to do a better job of that moving forward. And like I said, it starts with myself, and we got to get that cleaned up here moving into this week.
And then just last question, back to Nathan.
Hey, Shane, I don't think this got asked on Monday. I know you mentioned that there weren't any injury concerns that came out of the Berlin game against Atlanta. I noticed Jalen Jones only got 3 snaps on defense. Just wanted to clarify, was that a matchup thing that you guys saw? Or I know coming back in the Pittsburgh game, he saw maybe 50 some odd snaps and just noticed that dipped and didn't know if that was, or if there was anything to that beyond just a matchup consideration that you guys saw or anything else.
Yeah, I think Jalen Jones is a hell of a player. I think part of it too is signing Sauce Gardner was a big part of it too. So, he'll be in the mix and he'll be in the fold for us, as we move forward though.